I always hated working on Black Friday because of all the pandemonium that it would cause. Arguments you can hear throughout the entire store, and sometimes even full-blown fights with policemen having to be called and someone getting arrested. But this is the first time a robbery has taken place while I've worked at my job my whole time being an employee. I work at Walmart and I know robberies tend to happen at a Walmart store a lot, but never at the one I worked at. Every Black Friday we as a team would be prepared to stop fights from happening, that we never did a drill on how to act when a robbery happens. So with no training or a plan put in motion, it's a given that it'll end very badly, and it did. I was working at Restock that particular night, which I was lucky since I always get stuck as a cashier on holidays. The normal fights and arguments broke out as usual, but then it settled down and it was a chill night. While restocking, I would sometimes go help bag items for people and then go back to restocking everything. While bagging for someone, two men walked in wearing all black with hoods on so that you could barely see their faces. Although we weren't trained to handle a robbery properly, it was still common sense to be able to tell if people had good intentions or not. I immediately noticed and asked another employee to go follow them and pretend to be stocking things on shelves. 20 minutes went by and I just thought one of the workers didn't suspect anything. One of the customers messed up the bathroom and I had to get the supplies from the storage room. Normally, the lights would be on since we all were constantly walking in and out of it all night. It was weird, but not weird enough to suspect anything or be scared until I turned the lights on. The employee that I told to go follow the men was lying on the floor dead, right in front of the bathroom supplies, as if they knew I was going in the back and wanted me to find him. Right after I saw him, I heard footsteps in the room. I immediately ran out and went to the front telling them to call the police and that there was a robbery and possible murder. Some customers heard me and everything turned into mayhem. People were running out of the store and screaming. Some of them took things without even paying for it. When the police arrived, the men were already gone and my coworker was indeed dead. They stole a bunch of electronics and, scarily, items that you could kill with. A few days later they found one of the guys. The guy was a big recurring customer and was beloved by so many staff. I thought it was over and they would soon catch the other guy, until I got a letter in the mail telling me it was all my fault and that he was coming for me.
Every Black Friday was always the worst and best time of the year. My wife and I would go shopping for our daughters, but it would be a hassle finding everything they wanted for Christmas. My wife and I spoiled my daughters, Julia and Maddie, so we always tried to get the best toys and things they could ever hope for. We left at midnight while Julia and Maddie went to sleep at my wife's brother's house with his kids. This Christmas, both of them wanted bikes since they were 7 and 8 and they wanted to learn how to ride one. I, as a father, wanted to give them the best pink bikes I could find, and the only ones my wife and I felt were the best were two at Target and were on sale for Black Friday. Target was always crowded and chaotic, but we were willing to suck it up for our girls. But once we made it into the store, there were only two of the pink bikes left. We ran as fast as we could, and we left the rest of the stuff we had in our cart to get to the bikes, and another couple touched them at the same time. They only wanted one and told us their daughter was only 4 at the time, but they wanted to buy it now to save for her when she gets older. I got angry since tons of kid bikes were pink, and I told them to get lost and get a bike for their daughter's age, and they'll be here again, and probably some even better when their daughter gets my girl's age. The woman and man frowned at me and tried talking to my wife, ignoring everything I said after that. My wife agreed with me, and as I was taking the bikes, the man pushed me onto the ground and threatened to kick my butt if I didn't give up one of the bikes. I got up and shoved him back, and he fell into some other bikes, knocking them all down. When an employee came by to help him pick the bikes up, I ran with both bikes in my hands and was quickly trying to pay for them. The man followed behind me, continually threatening to kill me and my daughters. After that, he and his wife were escorted out of Target, and I was able to get both bikes for free because I had threats against my life. We both went home after that and planned to go shopping when it was morning. By the time we got back home, it was after 2 a.m. and we went straight to sleep. I was later woken up by a big loud bang coming from downstairs. We lived in a 2-story house and all the bedrooms were upstairs. I saw my wife, who was already awake, running back inside our bedroom from the hallway, whispering to me that someone was in the house. I didn't own any weapons, and knowing the intruders could have a weapon, all we could do was hide in the closet and call 911. Our closet was big and it had spaces to hide in. When my wife called the police, the noises downstairs got louder and I could hear glass breaking. Then we heard someone walk upstairs into our bedroom. The person introduced himself as the man from Target and that he and his wife were following up with the promise to kill us. He said he had a machete and he couldn't wait to use it on our daughters once they found them. I could hear them walk throughout the house trying to find them. When the police arrived, they both left. They tried to find them but weren't able to catch them. It's been 3 years since that and I still am paranoid that he might come back for me and my daughters. We moved because of that and never went shopping on Black Friday again.